So things are changing, they're going rapidly. I encourage people to be open minded and just start exploring. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. Not everything floats everybody's boat. Okay. But my biggest encouragement is just get educated because those who remain stagnant will be left behind.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to my show. My name is Tiffany Alexander, and I am so excited to have you here. Let me just tell you. Okay, wait. My show. This is Unveiling Journeys podcast. Welcome, audio, video, wherever you're coming in from today. I want to tell you a smidge about me. I am so darn excited to meet anybody that somebody says, Tiff, you need to know them because I love kind of like super networking with people. And at the end of meeting all these amazing people, I find myself leaning into the phrase, wow, what you're doing is so impressive, so incredible. How do I get to know more people just like you? And if you're like, Tiff, I don't meet that many cool people, you need to say, wow, how could I be introduced to more amazing people that you know? Like you just find out a way to like plus one and exponentially be available for the people in your life. And that's exactly what ends up happening. I show up, I give my all, and I want people to know all the people that I know, and no joke, that is how the people that I get to meet that I interview on the show. So with that, I have an amazing guest for you. We've been bumping shoulders in many very high-end networking groups that we end up in, and he's doing incredible stuff. So I just absolutely needed to have him here with you and me today. So let's go on for the ride. So Dr. Jeffrey, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you're up to right now.
Sure, Tiffany. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm truly humbled. And yeah, I'm Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger. I live in Southwest Florida. I am a certified coach with a finance first approach to achieving all encompassing personal well being. And what I'm doing is I'm really helping those busy entrepreneurs navigate today's emerging technologies, looking for other wealth growth strategies to diversify their financial portfolios. And basically, I introduce them to exclusive, um, easy access ground floor opportunities.
Oh, okay. So you said emerging technologies. Like in my mind, I'm thinking stuff I don't even know about. Like I need to know a little
Well,
bit more. This is incredible.
yeah, no, a lot of people say emerging technologies. Well, today we're in front of a paradigm shift in the way really pretty much everything is being done. And it's related around the blockchain technologies. Blockchain has evolved to a WW3, where we have been used to decades of the WWW world. So that evolution is happening right now, and about only 8% of the world are really aware of what is happening today, as well as what is going to be transitioning over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years in the future. Major,
Oh
major
my God.
changes.
I love that. And you're saying if I know you, you're my guy. Like I need to know a lot of guys, but I can invest in this emerging technology because you've got your fingerprint on the pulse of all this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's incredible. And you've said this over and over, and I'm always like, wait, you've said such big words. I know I want to break it down for other people. Like, you just need to know this guy right here, the one that you're staring at, the one that you're listening to, because he has researched, he has homework, and he is getting phenomenal returns for himself and his clients. And you can get in for like next to nothing or a lot of something. So, like, just to be able, like, I'm a huge fan of diversifying your portfolio. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, like, I need you to have like so many different segments of your portfolio. But this is a way for you to be able to do that. So let's do this though. I love where you've ended up in your journey of life, but I want to go through the whole journey.
Mm,
Let's unveil it with everyone. Tell me, like,
uh-oh.
where are you from and what did you like want to be when you grew up? Like, what was the start of all this story?
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, it's definitely a roller coaster like Space Mountain at, Disney World, up and down, but, I actually started my first, I went to school for pre-med, and I started with pre-med, and, life happened, and then I ended up going, and I'm from Western New York, from Buffalo, Western New York. I went to a, hick school on a cold mountain in West Virginia to go for, a pre-med, and things just didn't pan out. So I ended up going back to Buffalo and went to and studied fine arts because I studied piano as a kid, and I really loved the fine arts, music, theater, dance, and I pursued that, and I had the opportunity of moving to New York City for pursuing my career, and I ended up going to New York City with $13 in my pocket. I soon thereafter was accepted into the New York City Jazz Company, was with them for a couple of years. Unfortunately, filming a rock video, I fractured my back.
Oh, no. Oh,
So
no.
that got me out of the professional career aspect of that. And then I ended up attending Columbia University and went into computer science. After a year, I moved to Boston, and for the next 27 years, I was a software engineer and working within the different elements of, for example, banking and health industry and telemarketing or telecommunications, things like that. And then in 2015, I got burnt out. I
Uh,
got burnt out, and my health took a really dive
yeah.
downwards. And I ended up making the choice to leave corporate America and pursue other things because I was not happy with what I was doing, and for the last 5 years of my corporate career, I wanted to be able to have an impact. It's like, what am I gonna be, when I leave this world, what am I gonna be known for? What am I gonna be contributing to? And working for corporate America was filling the pockets of, the board members, not my pockets. So I decided to go out on my own, and in August 15th of 2015 is when I exited corporate America forever.
Wow. Wait, hey, congratulations. Is that like we're at the 10-year mark?
Yes, yes, we are.
We just hit
Well,
it.
that's
Oh
it.
my
Yeah,
god.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Just like 2 weeks ago, the 10-year mark. Wow, happy
Yeah.
anniversary, Jeff.
Happy anniversary to that. Oh my gosh, never look back. And so in that being burnt out, is it because you work so much or just you knew you were like you could do better outside of that?
Well, I was a senior quality assurance engineer, and I was managing 13 projects. And it ended up being working 7 days a week, getting up, getting in the office at 6 and getting home by 10. And that was
Um,
day in and day out. And that deadlines had to be met, and there was no life work complement there. There was no life. I mean, I was working. And it just really, the pressure from getting projects done, no matter what, of course, management in many situations, because I've been worked for a number of companies, they don't understand what it takes to develop and to test products, from that aspect. And it was just like the whip was out, get it done, get it done, get it done.
wow.
And it just wreaked havoc. And when you have bosses that have no clue what you're doing and don't understand, the aspects of software engineering, that plays a big toll on yourself. So yeah, I wanted to do something different and really make an impact on the world. That's why I left.
Oh my goodness. So having that pivotal moment, what did that look like when you had enough and you were like, I'm done? Like what was your exit like in transitioning to your next thing?
Well, that's a great question because the last 5 months of my career, I was out on disability. And and
Let me
during that,
guess, your health, because you were
oh
working yourself to death.
yeah, my health was really, really bad.
Ugh,
And I mean, heart and diabetes and everything that goes around with that. And so over those months, I started to calm down. I started to get my health back together. And as I'm driving in back to work on that very first day, I'm driving in, and all of a sudden I see my knuckles turning white because I'm hanging on to that wheel, and I feel the anxiety and the stress and the pressure building up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm going back to the same old crap that I was doing for all those years. I I don't wanna do this." So, I walked into my boss's office and said, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm over this garbage that this company and you put onto the people, And there are bigger and better things out there. I'm not a slave to corporate America. I refuse to be a slave. I refuse to be walked all over, which is what you've done for, gosh, what it was, 5 years. And she said, "You can't quit. You have to give me 2 weeks." I said, "Watch me." I went to my desk, pulled my stuff out, and I walked out, and I never turned back.
Gosh, that
Now
is
I'm walking out of the office, and I'm shaking. I'm
yeah,
shaking. I'm
yeah.
like, I've never done this before, and I've never really talked back to a boss or a manager because I respect them. They're my manager, they're my boss, and I'm like, I just had so much because it was a toxic, hostile work environment, and other people were feeling the same thing. And I just said, you know what, I don't deserve this, and I worked so hard my entire career, and to get this type of treatment, I said, not for me anymore.
About that. I think
Yeah,
you were just like a cog in the entire system, and you're like, "Wait a minute, I
yeah.
can develop my own system and be out." Well, I mean, what was your mindset? Like, you knew white knuckling it, you had to change and do something different. What did you do when you left?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
What did you do when you left?
Oh, so uh, I was on a 2 year search. I really didn't know what I was going to do, and I knew that I didn't wanna go back into corporate America at all. However, with that being said, to be 100% transparent, I ended up doing a 6-month gig because I had no money coming in, and built up a reserve, and I moved from that. I was in Rhode Island at that time, moved back to Buffalo, and then within 6 months, got everything together, and then moved down to Florida. And that was December of 2017, and I've been down here ever since. And through that, my health was still it was still challenging, and my doctor at that time wanted to put me onto a 6th medication, and I'm like, "What?" Because I was having problems with the other 5, and I'm like, "Well, who's to say I'm not gonna have problems with number 6?" So that's when I made a second switch to say, "You know what? There's gotta be a better way out there," because she was leading me down the same path as my father, who passed from type 2 diabetes, heart disease, leg amputation, and 12 meds in his body, on a daily basis, and I said, "I don't want that route." So, I chose holistic, and long story short, within 9 months, I lost 60 pounds. I came off of 5 medications. I reduced stress, anxiety, and depression uh, that was at a 10 plus for decades down to a level 1. And since August of 2019, I've been pharmaceutical free, and that stress and anxiety has just been down here. Now, not to say I don't have stress or anxiety, but I know how to manage it now because I don't
Mhm.
have all those drugs in my body.
Yeah.
So, and that was a major paradigm shift for me from a health perspective, because we're taught that, trust your doctors. They know what they're doing. And I'm like, do they really? All they know how to do is prescribe medications. So, and I don't, I have to throw, I always, what? Yeah, I always throw this in. I don't take away 100% from Western medicine. When I'm passing a kidney stone, give me that morphine, baby. But I didn't have to be on all those medications for the rest of my life, which is what she told me. She said, "You have to be on medications for the rest of your life." Says who? So
That doesn't
that's
sit well with me. That's not a good answer because
no,
they're
it's
all Band-Aids. None of it's solving anything.
they don't get to the root of the cause. We're in a world of broken and corrupt systems, and unfortunately, the medical system is more about managing illness rather than managing wellness and getting to the root cause and finding out what is the root cause that is causing this. And
Yeah.
that's another story for another interview, because the research that I did, because I was a health coach, a holistic health coach focusing on the microbiome for 5 years, and really educating people about their health because of all the garbage that's out there, from food, from pharmaceuticals, to the air, to the water, everything that's going on. And the number one problem or issue with every single one of my coaching students was finances.
Yeah.
Finances are the number one stressor, and I totally understand because I related so much to them with, what has happened to me over the years, and it really turned on another light bulb to go much further into my journey. and provide that the hop onto that vehicle, if you will, and provide more value to individuals who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and want to get to the next step, whether it's personal, professional, or both. And as the CEO of Abundance and Optimum Wellness, which is my company, I believe we all should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So, and I had the first four, the first couple of years, but the fifth one didn't happen until about 2022. That's when the financial portion came into my whole paradigm. And that was the sealing deal for me to move forward with a finance first approach to encompassing personal well-being.
That's incredible. Moving on from that, finding your health and yourself back again. And then, you know what's cool about when people find their health through healing their bodies and leaving medications is like you get not just years back on your life, but like this
Yeah,
mental clarity and
big
this
time.
new lease of like years and then being able to thrive instead of just, yeah, I could go on and on. I get so excited for people whenever you find that because it's like my goal. I think to myself, well, I'm only 41, but like by the time our parents and grandparents were on at 41, they were already on a blood pressure or a diabetic or something. I'm like,
Exactly.
my gosh, like that, it's not, oh, yeah. Okay. I'm so proud of you in your journey in this. Like, tell me
Thank
a
you.
little bit more about how that kept being just better and better and better for you along your journey.
Yeah, so I mean, I went through the health thing. I went through the corporate America thing and the financial thing. In between 9/11 and 2008, with the real estate crash, I lost over 900,000 in my portfolio. And then in 2020, 2021, my 401ks were turning into 101ks, and one actually flatlined. And that was the like the next revolution of I got to make a change. I've got to look at something different. And what took me back to the earlier days when I was a software engineer, and it just so relates to my story with regards being put in front of certain opportunities, and then you walk away from them, and then you reflect back onto it. So, as an ex software engineer, in 2009, I was approached with the opportunity of purchasing 500 Bitcoin at 0.0017 cents. That's an 85-cent investment. My response was, nah, sounds like a scam. So, looking at where Bitcoin is today, which I think it was yesterday, was like $118,000 per coin. And I look back at that, I'm like, I could probably be on a beach eating bonbons right now. Well, sugar-free bonbons, I'll say that. But it really opened up my eyes, and then in 2017 is when this digital currency, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology started to come into my feeds, and I'm like, "Something's going on here. I need to step into my uncomfortable zone and start researching this." So I did day by day, maybe every other day, whatever, just starting to get that education because you can't learn everything in in a week or so because this has been going on since 2008, 2009 with blockchain. So in 2021, 2020, 2021 was when I made my decision to make a major shift and actually liquidated my 401ks and diversified them into different portfolios in the blockchain technology. And I do have two that are in traditional stocks within companies, not in the US, but abroad. So it diversifies that because I was losing so much money here in the States with the economy going up and down and up and down. And you can't replace over almost $1 million that you worked so hard for during your life. So I chose to look into and move forward with these types of strategies because my financial planner was not interested in diversifying. He was traditional, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
But
he lived in the same house for 40 years. He drove the same car for 20 years. He took one vacation a year. That was his lifestyle, and that's okay. I'm not taking it away, but I wanted more options to my life rather than working, from social security check to social security check. Because I'm 70,
Yeah.
and at this point I was supposed to be dead in accordance to my doctor. It's like be on meds for the rest of your life. My father
Mhm.
died at 70. So I
Oh,
surpassed that, and
yeah.
I beat that, that traditional he passed away, his sister, then his younger brother passed away, all from type 2 diabetes. So I broke that history, and now I'm out there. I want to help these individuals realize that we're in a paradigm shift, and it's time to uh, rather than being stagnant. If you remain stagnant, you're going to basically be left behind, and
Yeah.
things are changing at a rapid pace. So
What did it look like for you to start this this new chapter of the finance aspect of it? Like you were like, I know you said like this is the last, like pillar to be added to
right.
your entire structure of a holistic approach into things. What was that like? How did this opportunity come to you? And you're like, I'm leaning in, I'm in.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, I mean, sure, I was scared. I mean, all that stuff, pulling out, liquidating, moving it over, it's a gamble. Everything in life is a risk. When you step outside the door, when you go in your car, and I'm like, well, I'm losing anyway over here. So I'm willing to go over here to, to the other side to start exploring and see what it can do for me. So with that, taking a low six figure, re-diversifying it, it is now a high seven, soon to be eight-figure portfolio within different, utilizing different projects. And it's about understanding, the concept of where digital currency is going. In the beginning with cryptocurrency, yeah, there were a lot of scams out there, just like there are in traditional, opportunities as well. It's a matter of doing your due diligence and making sure that you are with the right people, first the right company and then the right people. And with that, it allowed me to move forward with those strategies. Also working with a wealth coach. I do have a wealth coach and a life coach who was a self-made millionaire at 21 with traditional real estate. And so he has 30 years of, business background, and that is where I learned a lot of the stuff that I'm doing today, but I'm also expanding and working with other coaches, so forth and so on. But realizing that today the blockchain technologies are changing all aspects of in every industry, the medical, the financial, businesses are going to have to be on these different technologies. It's being I mean, you look at BlackRock, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they've all bought into Bitcoin, which was really it was shoved down our faces. No, you don't get involved with Bitcoin, and it's a scam and cryptocurrency, blah 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 blah. But then, fortunately for me, I was like over here looking at what they were saying, and then kind of here and here. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're saying this, but over here, something else is happening.
Right.
I'm not going to just listen to you. I'm going to come over here and evaluate, look at the true state of affairs, and do my own due diligence. And that's unfortunately most people don't do that. So it's really helped me to get to the point where I want to help people and educate them, those that are willing to and want to make change in their lives, because if they continue to be on that gerbil wheel, if you will, doing the same thing day after day after day after day, they're gonna not end up much further ahead.
Yeah. You almost like inadvertently answered it. One of my favorite questions I like to ask is like, why do you keep showing up to keep caring so much for all your clients?
Yeah, that's a great question because I want to pay it forward. I've had some great opportunities of meeting people, getting introduced to some really amazing projects. One of the latest ones is I'm creating cash flow every single day. I get paid for owning the mining software of a cryptocurrency project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is I'm like, I've never had that before. It's like, Bitcoin, there are no more miners. You can't that whole is gone. That is completely gone. You can't have any miners in Bitcoin. I don't know of any other project right now, and I'm still doing research on it to see what other projects are offering ownership in the software where you own the software. It's housed offsite. They do all the work. They pay the electric. They do all of the admin work, and then you get paid.
Oh, fun.
And so that's very, very exciting. And, there's a lot of great opportunities out there for, passive income. But what I love about this is that I'm not out there selling products every single day, or I'm not selling, health products or beauty products or whatever is out there and getting paid off of that. This is something that is going to be producing income every single day for 135 years. And
Mm,
right now, these mines are generating on average $5 a day. All right. By February, they're expected to go up to $16 a day. So if I own 11 mines times $5, that's $55 times 30 times 12. In February, 11 mines times 16, which is
or
167
more.
times
Yeah.
30 times 12. And that's passive residual income.
Mm, mm.
So it's about educating people about these paradigm shifts that are happening and other ways to look at income strategies, diversifying your portfolio. How many people, see that this is no matter where. I mean, even within this industry, it's up and down and up and down. However, only 8%, less than 8% are aware of this. And this is where the paradigm shift is going. Everything is going onto the blockchain. It's going into digital currency with especially around real world assets.
Yeah, yeah, that's the new thing. Oh, man.
The new thing, yeah, real world assets is basically the currency is backed by either real
Oh, yeah,
estate or
we
some.
need, like, a whole 'nother show for this, like, I can't even crack into it, but here's my favorite part. At this point, people are listening, and they're like, "I need to know you. I wanna know you. I wanna do this. Like, you could be my guy," and that's the whole point of the show. Like, "You need a guy? This is it." Tell everybody where you want them to come find you.
So the best place is to come find me on LinkedIn. Just look for Jeffrey Berger and look for the picture of the bald dude, Jeffrey E. Berger, Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger. I'm there. I do have a webpage, jeffreyeberger.biz, but I'm in the process of revamping it. And then I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. However, I have a love-hate relationship with those social medias, but LinkedIn is my professional source of directing people to, because that's where I house all of my information there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful, that's wonderful. Alright, I only have 2 more questions. Second to last one's, like, kind of what do you have on the horizon that you wanna tell people about?
Well, this new project is on the horizon because I've been with them for a month, and the more I learn about it, the more I'm excited, because what they're doing is they're building a portfolio and a business model in one state. And then it's going to be proven system, and then they're going to take it to it's in one state, it's coming to Florida next, which is where I live. So I'm
Yeah,
helping educate people about this coming to Florida, and it's going to go to another state, and another state. And so that's is the biggest thing right now for me on the horizon, along with my real estate and the eclectic ecosystem that I'm working on, that is accredited by Microsoft, Amazon Web Services. We won the Microsoft EdTech Award. Collaboration with Google, a 2-year collaboration on the educational component of our metaverse system. So that's pretty cool. Very, very. Uh, it's wild. So that's where the industry is going, is into the metaverse, in one aspect, because there's so
yeah,
many different areas in that.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and this has been phenomenal. Let's do this. Tell me, as my last question for you, what's your favorite, like, nugget or advice you wanna leave with everyone?
Yeah. So that's, yeah, really good, really good. As I mentioned earlier, we are in a paradigm shift like none other before. And I invite people to think about decades ago when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon introduced their technologies back in the day. And today, that's exactly where we are with blockchain technology. And the people who saw the vision, the potential vision with Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon, they jumped in on the ground floor. That's where we are today. You've got ground floor opportunities here. And even more so, um, we've got Google and Amazon who are backing one of the projects that I have to offer people as a diversification to their portfolio. So things are changing, they're going rapidly. I encourage people to be open minded and just start exploring. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. Not everything floats everybody's boat. Okay. But my biggest encouragement is just get educated because those who remain stagnant will be left behind. You will be forced to start educating and getting involved with it. So there you go.
I love it. 100% agree. Man, this has been awesome. I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you for coming here. And everybody who's listening, watching, thank you for staying to the end. I know you won't have anything else in your brain right now except reaching out to Dr. Jeffrey on LinkedIn. If you can't find him, come find me and I'll get you with him.
There you
So
go.
thank you again for
Thank,
your time.
thank you,
See you guys
Tiffany.
all on the next episode. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.